Imagine for a second that you are born on an island. You hunt, you gather, you live, and you die within 10 square miles of jungle. You think this island is the entire universe. You have no concept of what lies beyond the water. You have no idea that just beyond your horizon, there are cities of glass, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and space travel. You are living in the Stone Age, hunting with spears, while the rest of the world is flying in jets at Mach speed. We call these people the Uncontacted Tribes. We study them. We protect them. We enact laws to ensure they never leave their bubble. We watch them from satellites and helicopters, and to them, we are gods or monsters. But we never make contact. We let them live in their simulation of reality. But here is the question that should keep you awake at night. Here is the thought that should shatter your perception of the world you live in right now. What if we are the tribe? What if the civilization you think is the peak of human achievement is actually the containment zone? What if we are the ones living in the Stone Age compared to what is really happening on this planet? What if the real world isn't around us, but below us? Welcome to the world below, and welcome to the end of the lie you've been living in. They tell us the world is full. They tell us it is bursting at the seams. You hear it every day. Overpopulation, crowded, resource scarcity. They want you to believe there is no room left. They want you to believe we are fighting for scraps. We believe it because we look around and see traffic jams. We see skyscrapers stacked on top of skyscrapers. We see people living on top of people. But this is an illusion. It is a carefully crafted illusion of density. Let's do the math that they don't teach you in school. Let's look at the raw numbers they don't want you to visualize. If you took every single human being on Earth, all 8 billion of us, and gave every single family a standard suburban house with a yard, do you know how much space we would take up? We would all fit inside the state of Texas. Let that sink in. Every human on Earth could fit in Texas. That leaves the rest of North America, all of South America, all of Africa, all of Europe, all of Asia, and Australia completely empty. So why do we feel crowded? Because we are herded. We are clustered into massive urban centers that occupy less than 1% of the Earth's surface area. The rest of the world, the other 99%, it's classified as uninhabitable. It's federal land. It's restricted airspace. It is off limits. Think about Antarctica, a continent larger than Europe, completely locked down by international treaties. No civilian settlement allowed. Why? What are they protecting? What are they hiding under the ice? And that's just the land. We haven't even talked about the water yet. 71% of our planet is ocean. We have explored less than 5% of it. We have better maps of the craters on Mars than we do of our own ocean floor. They tell us the world is small. They tell us we have nowhere to go. That is a lie. The world is massive. The world is endless. We are just convinced to stay in the lobby. We are trapped in the waiting room while the real owners of the building occupy the penthouse. But you might ask, if there is a breakaway civilization, how are they hiding it? How do you hide technology that is 50 years ahead of us? The answer is history. They have done it before, and they are doing it right now. Look at the SR-71 Blackbird. This was a jet that could fly at Mach 3. It could outrun missiles. It touched the edge of space. It looked like an alien spaceship. It took its first flight in 1964. The public didn't officially know it existed for 30 years. Think about that timeline. In 1964, people were watching black and white televisions and driving cars with no seat belts. Meanwhile, the military had technology that looked like science fiction. The atomic bomb, developed in secret cities like Oak Ridge, that didn't appear on any map. Tens of thousands of people worked there, and the rest of the world had no clue. The internet, that wasn't invented in the 90s for you to send emails. It was military technology used for decades before you ever heard a dial-up tone. GPS, stealth technology, drones, all of it existed in the dark 20 to 40 years before it was invented for the consumer market. So apply that logic to today. You are impressed by ChatGPT. You are shocked by AI deepfakes. You think the new iPhone is cutting edge. That is the declassified scrap metal. That is the toy version they gave the kids to play with. If the public has AI that can generate photorealistic reality now, the breakaway civilization has likely had it for 20 years. We aren't seeing the bleeding edge. We are playing with their old toys. So what do they have right now? What is the technology of 2055 that they're using today while we argue over gas prices? They have the tech, but more importantly, they have the money. You cannot build a breakaway civilization on credit. You need cash, trillions of it. And guess what? That is exactly what is missing. On September 10th, 2001, Donald Rumsfeld announced that the Pentagon could not track $2.3 trillion in transactions. The next day, the world changed and nobody asked about the money again. Fast forward to today. The Pentagon has failed its audit 6 times in a row. They cannot account for over 60% of their assets. We are talking about nearly $4 trillion. Vanished. You cannot hide $4 trillion in a bank account. You hide $4 trillion in concrete, steel, and energy. You hide it in infrastructure. But where? You can't build a megacity on land without someone noticing. Satellites see everything. You can't hide it on the surface. So you go where the satellites can't look. You go down. We know they have the technology. Massive nuclear-powered tunnel boring machines that can melt through rock, leaving glass smooth walls behind them. They can build underground cities connected by high-speed maglev trains that span continents. Deep underground military bases, D.U.M.B.s. This isn't conspiracy theory, this is engineering. But why? Why go underground? Why go underwater? It's not just about hiding. It's about survival, and it's about time. The surface of this planet is volatile. We have solar flares. We have pandemics. We have nuclear standoff. We have political instability. The surface is dangerous. But the deep ocean, the deep underground, it is stable. The temperature never changes. It is shielded from radiation. It is impenetrable. It is the ultimate safe house. But there is a darker, more seductive reason. Biology. Look at the life in the deep ocean. The Greenland shark lives for 400 years. Deep sea corals live for thousands of years. The immortal jellyfish can revert its cells back to youth and start over. In the deep, under high pressure, biology changes. Metabolism slows down. Time slows down. Recent science has proven that high-pressure environments and hyperbaric oxygen can radically slow aging and repair DNA. What if the elite aren't just hiding their technology? What if they are hiding their time? Imagine a civilization that lives twice as long as we do. Imagine a scientific project that can run for 100 years because the scientists don't die. A civilization that lives that long plays a different game. They don't care about a 4-year election cycle. They plan for centuries. While we are up here fighting over the scraps, aging, getting sick, and dying, they are down there, preserved in the deep, watching us. And we know they are watching. We see their vehicles every day. We tell ourselves they are aliens from Alpha Centauri or Mars, because that story is convenient. Aliens implies they are visiting. Aliens implies they will leave. But look at the data. Look at the reports from the Navy. Commander David Fravor, the 2004 Nimitz encounter, the famous Tic Tac object. It wasn't hovering in space, it was hovering just above the water. It was interacting with a massive object under the surface. The 2019 USS Omaha Incident. A spherical craft flies around a Navy ship and then splashes into the water. It doesn't crash, it enters the water seamlessly and disappears from sonar. These aren't spaceships, they are transmedium craft. Air, water, space, it doesn't matter to them. Why do they always go to the water? Why are they always seen near the ocean? Because they aren't visiting, they are commuting, they are going home, they live here, they share this planet, they just occupy the floors we aren't allowed to access. They are the landlords, we are just the tenants living in the attic. So let's go back to that island. Let's go back to the Uncontacted Tribe. The Sentinelese people look up at a helicopter and they see a god. They see a monster. They have no concept of the engine, the fuel, the pilot, or the civilization that built it. They just know it is beyond them. We look at a Tic Tac UFO and we see an alien. We see magic. But the reality is much simpler. And the reality is much more terrifying. We are the zoo. We are the experiment. We are allowed to play with our apps, fight our wars, and distract ourselves with our little screens. We are kept on the surface, distracted, divided, and confused. Meanwhile, the real civilization operates below us. They are thousands of years ahead. They have unlimited energy. They have solved aging. They have mastered gravity, and they are watching us. They don't make contact for the same reason we don't give an iPhone to a caveman. It would break us. It would destroy our simulation. So next time you feel crowded, next time you feel like the world is bursting at the seams, remember the empty map. Remember the trillions of missing dollars. Remember the craft entering the ocean. The world isn't small. The world isn't overpopulated. The world is just restricted. You have spent your entire life trapped in the lobby. Isn't it time you tried to find the elevator? Stop looking up at the stars for answers. The truth isn't out there. The truth is below.